San Antonio, several car crashes all across the city. So I'm speaking with the driving school about why lessons are so important, coming up tonight on the Nightbeat.
And Latter-day Saints everywhere have been left reeling by not one, but two heartbreaking situations affecting their church. How local Mormons are keeping faith through adversity. Plus, friends of a teenager killed in a senseless act of violence are honoring her memory, but they want you to remember about Aliana Uhueta tonight on the Nightbeat.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
One adult and one child were seriously injured after they crashed into a concrete pillar early this morning. The crash happened on the west side off Highway 90 near Hunt Lane. San Antonio police believe the driver who caused the crash was intoxicated, lost control of the vehicle, and that is what led to both passengers being rushed to the hospital. We are working to learn more about this incident. The crash we just told you about is one of many we unfortunately cover on a regular basis. That being the case, traffic-related incidents are on the rise here in Alamo City. The night team Zaria Oates spoke with a driver education instructor about just how important driving classes are for all ages.
Now we're going to go right.
Driving. It's something many of us do almost every day, and sitting in traffic and driving past bad car crashes has also become pretty routine. The San Antonio Police Department is reporting over 6,800 traffic-related calls in just the last 7 days. The Texas Department of Transportation says more than 250,000 people were injured in motor vehicle crashes in 2024. Another 4,150 people died in motor vehicle crashes across the state that year.
There's a very high risk of being involved in accidents.
While trying to understand these numbers, I met up with Brian Nugent, an instructor with Safeway Driving.
They don't realize how risky that is when they're using the phone while the car is moving. So that phone needs to be down.
But the problem isn't just teenagers. Adults are causing crashes too, which is why Nugent offers driver's ed to adults as well.
People that just want to brush up on their skills, and we can help with that too. We put them through the same training because our system is one that we know is proven, and it actually does reduce your risk of having an accident.
So to get a better idea of exactly what students are learning in this driver's education class, I went for a ride with a student driver.
And get in the left turn lane, follow that guy.
Elijah's 28 and taking one of these classes.
Really consistency getting behind the wheel and learning the rules of the road.
We didn't talk much so he could keep his eyes on the road, but I did ask Brian how drivers can prepare and protect themselves from other people.
You can be brake checked while you're driving down the road. That dash cam is proof that somebody did something wrong in front of you and that it wasn't necessarily your fault.
So a dash cam, your eyes up and your phone down are crucial to staying safe. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
This evening, hundreds of people came together to honor the life of a teenager who was shot and killed while leaving a party in southwest Bexar County. Family and friends of Aliana Uhueta prayed, mourned, and released balloons into the sky to remember the 17-year-old. Uhueta was leaving a party described as a teen takeover at an abandoned property on Lucky Road near Shepherd Road. That's when shots rang out, killing her. While the investigation into the shooting continues, so many who knew Uhueta want her to be remembered not for how she died, but for how she touched their lives.
She was a funny, spunky, charismatic, caring person. Anytime she walked into a room, she always brought light to it. She was like if sunshine was embodied in a person.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office is still investigating what led up to the shooting and who ended up firing those shots. They're asking for anyone with video of the party or information to come forward. You can call BCSO at 210-335-6000. And continuing coverage, a Holy Cross of San Antonio employee was fired after an alleged report came out about their misconduct. According to a letter sent out to parents, the Holy Cross principal says no student or faculty members are currently at risk. We currently do not know any details about that misconduct. Legal counsel for Holy Cross told us, quote, "We cannot comment beyond what we state in the letter, and that the rumors and other misinformation being generated are completely wrong. Principal Dr. Escobedo is following established procedures, and he is not the subject of the ongoing investigation in any way," end quote. We do know San Antonio police are involved in this investigation. As we learn more, we'll get that to you. And taking a look at live cam, it is 10 o'clock, past 10 o'clock, still haven't dipped under 80. The heat been here throughout the weekend, but the humidity hasn't. Shelby, that might change.
That is going to change this week, and I know a lot of people want to see the temperatures dipping below the 80s, but really, it's not going to happen. It definitely didn't happen today. We're still sitting in those 80s. Our peak temperature today in San Antonio was 91 degrees, just a few degrees shy of our record being 95 set in 1893. Now, tomorrow is going to be another similar day, waking up with temperatures in the 60s, peak temperature in the 90s, but it is still going to be a little bit humid for drop off tomorrow morning, but we're also going to see that humidity continue to be a little on the muggier side throughout most of the week. Finally starting to see a little bit of a shift in the weather pattern as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, but that's also when we're starting to see the rain chances start to dip, seeing that more of a pleasant weather pattern. I'll talk about what's causing it and what you can expect for some low rain chances in San Antonio coming up in just a bit.
Shelby, thank you. A chance to mourn, grieve, and refocus on their faith. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints endured two significant hits last weekend. Their head prophet and national president died at 101 on Saturday. Then Sunday, as they prayed for him, a mass shooting took place at an LDS church in Michigan. Now, a week later, their National General Conference has kicked off in Salt Lake City, Utah. Leaders of the Church of Latter-day Saints are pushing for kindness and love as they kick off their National General Conference this weekend.
We meet as we mourn the death of
this as they say goodbye to their beloved head prophet, President Russell M. Nelson, who died at 101 last Saturday.
So just an amazing man, but yet he was just so humble. And another thing that was so amazing about President Nelson was his memory. He could meet people one time, and years later he would see them and could still call them by name.
Gary Long, one of the local Latter-day Saints presidents here in the Hill Country, explained, even at his age, the loss was a shock.
He, like I told you, was skiing until he was 90s, and so just an amazing man.
As the Mormon community gathered to remember Nelson's legacy and pray for his family last Sunday, mass violence struck at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Michigan. 4 people killed, 8 others injured. The suspect killed by police.
These acts of violence seem to be occurring far too often, but it almost seemed that this one took it one step further. You had him crashing a truck through the front doors. Then he starts shooting, and police say after that, he lit the building on fire. Just your thoughts on the extent and the extremes that this person went to.
I can't imagine who would go to that extremes in such a, what's supposed to be a safe sanctuary. Right? So I just don't have words for it. I can't describe it.
Long explains, although the attack was nowhere near the San Antonio area, it still hits close to home.
And I know on some of the newscasts in Michigan, and I think I saw one of the pictures of the sign on the building, visitors welcome. You can go out front here, and we have the same sign that they had. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, visitors welcome. The Savior invites all to come and worship.
As the Mormon community leans on their faith, they're also doing much more than that, fully embracing the saying, meet hate with kindness. Church members have now raised more than $300,000 for the suspect's widow and child. Still ahead, a little girl has been reunited with her best friend, Sheriff Woody, after losing him. Now the San Marcos community came together to bring a lost cowboy home. And they're a group of women picking up the accordion together, while they say choosing this instrument has been an amazing experience. The Viva Mexico Women's Festival took place today over on the south side of town, filled with artists and musicians who are providing uplifting Mexican culture. Devin Karp got to listen in on one group of women who picked up an unconventional instrument for fun and ended up finding a community of supportive friends along the way.
When you're not listening to customers or the sounds of your morning brew, over here at the Coffee Cup Co., you can hear live music ringing in the air.
Like just practicing together, like as a whole group, we've only been doing for about 2 weeks. So it's been good though. We've been catching on quick.
These are Las Mujeres, a group of women who met when they picked up accordion lessons over at the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center.
I didn't know it was going to be like playing it, but then after learning more about the instrument and seeing other people play other instruments, I'm like, oh, this is much different, because there's so many ways to do different chords or different notes.
Ever since then, they found time to squeeze in practice and pull off some good tunes, all while finding new friends in class and fighting some stereotypes that this is a man's instrument.
And so it was a really wide range, but there was also like a good amount of women there. And I also feel like we kind of all clicked together and we kind of stuck together. I mean, we love our male classmates too, but I feel like we've gotten like a special bond as being women playing this specific instrument.
So it's really fun to have this community of ladies playing.
Now they've been invited to perform at the Viva Mexico Women's Festival, an event meant to uplift artists and musicians while highlighting Mexican culture. How you feeling?
And we're sorry for those technical difficulties with that story, but it was a great report, an amazing group of ladies there. We have that report on KSAT.com. Just Google KSAT and Viva Mexico Women's Festival, and you'll check that out. Thanks for that, Devin. Now shifting gears over to weather. The humidity is non-existent. A nice break, but that reprieve is come and gone.
I know, it was such a beautiful weekend in San Antonio and really all South Texas. We saw that low humidity, but JP, it's really going to return tomorrow, sadly.
Not this frizzy hair.
But here's some good news. It is going to return with some rain, about a 10% chance of rain tomorrow, 20% on Monday, and a 10% on Wednesday. Now, here's the good news. That rain isn't going to stick around for long. I know we still need the rain here in South Texas. We're still in that drought. And that humidity also is expected to start to dip out as we get into Friday and Saturday. Now, here's a look at the futurecast starting tomorrow morning. Most of these showers we're expecting are going to be near the coastal plains and even near those sea breeze showers and storms that we normally get here in South Central Texas. And by tomorrow morning, most of the coastal plains between Corpus Christi, near South Padre Island, even getting into areas near Lake Jackson can see these showers. But by lunchtime, we can already expect a few of these to make their way closer to the Alamo City, but that's exactly what they're going to be. Very isolated at times. Not everyone is going to see these showers, and even then, by your evening commute, maybe a few 10% chance of showers, but by the sunset, that's when we start to lose those strength for these thunderstorms. But here's the thing, there's going to be some excess moisture in the atmosphere and in these clouds that we could even see a quick sprinkle or a quick shower into Tuesday morning. We're talking overnight by about 3 to even 5 a.m. A few of us here in South Central Texas could see that chance for a quick shower, but otherwise that chance of some showers could persist just near the Rio, and once again in the afternoon for San Antonio, stretching from the hill country all the way down to Beeville and Corpus, because there's still going to be enough instability, enough moisture in the atmosphere. But it's not going to bring a lot of rain for most of us. As we look at the rainfall totals, this is over the next 7 days. So this does include any chances of some rain we could get on Wednesday and even next week if we see anything. If I take a little query near Corpus Christi, they could see upwards of ½ an inch of rain. Closer to San Antonio, though, we're not expecting enough rain to really get us out of those drought conditions. Portions could see anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to even maybe 1/4 of an inch of rain. Heavier rain as you go near the East Coast, near Atlanta, even near Florida, near Miami, as they're continuing to see all that tropical moisture continue. But here's the thing, after the rain we see over the next few days, we're going to start to dry out. And we are sitting or expected to sit below average for our precipitation outlook over the next 6 to 10 days and even beyond then. But not only are we going to sit dry, we're also expected to sit above average. But keep in mind, our average temperature for us in San Antonio is only 88 degrees at this time of year. So 88 degrees in October, anything in the 90s is going to be above average for San Antonio. But here's the thing, you can see that maroon color stretches all the way from the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle, all the way through the upper Midwest, even into the upper peninsula of Michigan. But what we're watching is what comes behind it. There is going to be a low pressure system moving into the Pacific Northwest that is going to bring some below average temperatures that could have a chance to bring us some cooler temperatures in San Antonio, but really not expecting mostly cooler temperatures for us. But tomorrow morning, still going to be waking up with temperatures in those 60s, still having a little bit of that humidity near 88 degrees about lunchtime, starting to see our temperatures really increase into those 90s, but also starting to see the rain chances. A 10% chance of rain in the afternoon for us in San Antonio. And like I mentioned, still seeing the rain chances over the next few days. And then we're going to see more of the same of what we've been seeing, that copy-paste weather forecast, more of that Groundhog's Day effect for us in San Antonio. Not enough rain to get us out of the drought, but start to see that humidity really decrease by the end of the week, guys.
The saying, when it rains, it pours, is not true for us here, at least this week.
Correct.
It is true for the Texans and Cowboys offense and their opponents because they really both poured them on.
They did, yeah. Obviously, the Cowboys defense has been a struggle this year, but the offense has been a high-octane offense, one of the best in the NFL today. It was all clicking for Dallas out on the East Coast. And the Texans dominate in Baltimore, words that have never been said. We'll recap both games and give you post-game reaction coming up.
I'm happy with the win, very grateful. Just to really have an opportunity to play in Baltimore again, get a dub. First time in our organization's history to win up here.
The Texans make up for lost time against the Ravens in big board sports. We'll get to the Texans in a moment, but first, the Dallas Cowboys steamrolled the Jets at MetLife Stadium to get back in the win column for the first time since week 2. Now, despite missing 4 starting offensive linemen, Dallas erupted for 37 points. Dak Prescott tossed 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Jake Ferguson, ending a 21-game touchdown dry spell for the tight end. And the Cowboys offense, who ranks first in the NFL in total offense, had 2 90-plus yard TD drives in the second quarter alone to flip a 3-3 game into a 23-3 halftime lead. Now, the Jets did make a push late, but the Cowboys stayed in the driver's seat to win 37-22. Now, back to that offensive line. Here's what was said about their efforts after the game.
I don't remember ever having to go in with 4 brand new offensive linemen.
There's not many teams in the league that can put four guys who don't start into the game and feel confident about going and winning a game, especially on the road, against one of the most premier interior defensive linemen and some good rushers as well. So, credit from the front office of getting these guys, but just as important, these guys don't see themselves as backups, as they shouldn't. They've just been waiting on their opportunity.
Well, the Texans will enter their bye week feeling good after a commanding 44-10 win over the Ravens today, marking Houston's first ever win against the Ravens in Baltimore while tying the franchise's largest road victory margin. Now, C.J. Stroud was near flawless, completing 23 of 27 passes for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns. 2 were to Xavier Hutchinson for his 2 first NFL touchdowns. And fellow Cyclone rookie Jalen Noel also caught his first NFL touchdown today. All right, the Texans scored on all 8 possessions with Stroud in the game, amassing 417 total yards. Meanwhile, the Texans defense capitalized on a depleted Ravens roster, holding them to 207 total yards. Here's another look at the final. Now, Texans OC Nick Caley caught some heat earlier in the season. DeMeco Ryans correcting that narrative after the game.
Caley's done a great job, and it didn't show the first weeks, and because we didn't execute well. We came out today and guys executed. We run our offense the right way. We run our defense, our special teams unit. When we do it the right way, it's what we're capable of doing. We just have to stay the course, everybody, and continue to get better. That's coaches, that's players, everybody.
We had the same problem last year when we played them. We had a lot of guys out on Christmas Day, and they gave us an old-fashioned. So I think it's cool to kind of come back here and kind of do the same thing.
Okay, it's time now to introduce you to our Scholar Athlete of the Week, presented by Christus Children's.
Hi, I'm Lily Brockman from Davenport High School, and I'm this week's KSAT 12 Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Lily is a 2-year member of the varsity volleyball team, where she was named Academic All-State as a junior. She's a member of the National Honor Society and performs community service through Vacation Bible School, the Humane Society, Habitat for Humanity, and her local elementary school. Lily maintains a 3.7 GPA and is ranked in the top 20% of her class. Lily plans to attend Texas A&M and College Station and major in business marketing. Thanks, Lily, for being KSAT 12 Scholar Athlete of the Week, presented by Christus Children's.
Great job, Lily. Okay, coming up later in the show in sports, we'll hear from Victor Wembanyama talking WNBA and much more, JP.
Looking forward to it. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to Zio Mata. She's a Ravens fan.
Okay.
And we have a little trash talk going back and forth. This Ravens purple is for you tonight as we mourn that Texans beatdown.
Wow, way to go. Way to follow through.
Thanks for that. All right, still ahead. A little girl's lost Woody doll made it all the way back home to the San Marcos community. How they returned the deputy back to his sheriff. Next. And the long road to peace in Gaza may now finally be underway. The details of American brokered peace plan. Next. New on the Nightbeat, one man is dead and another is in handcuffs after a shooting on the west side this evening. This happened just before 9 p.m. at home along West Cesar Chavez Boulevard, not far from Southwest 36th Street. San Antonio police say they received 2 calls, one reporting a theft of an ATV and then a report of a shooting about an hour later. Police arrived to find a man with a gunshot wound who later died at the scene. Inside the home, police arrested a 20-year-old suspect. The exact cause of the shooting is still under investigation. Almost 2 years since the Hamas attack that started Israel's latest war in Gaza, there's renewed hope that hostilities could come to an end and that dozens of Israeli hostages could come home soon. Israel and Hamas both agreed to a peace proposal put forward by President Donald Trump, but the details are still being hashed out. Here's the latest from Jerusalem.
As he left the White House this morning, President Trump saying indirect talks between Israel and Hamas to end the war have already begun.
They're in negotiation right now as we speak. They've started the negotiation. It'll last a couple of days. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm hearing it's going very well.
Negotiations between Israel and Hamas are set to take place Monday in Egypt. The White House says special diplomat Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner will be part of the U.S. team at those talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says this is the closest we've come to getting the hostages released, but acknowledged this is not yet a done deal.
There's a lot of pitfalls along the way. There's some work to be done here. And our hope is that by the time our team gets to Cairo, 90% of this has been worked out and we're just sort of finalizing the logistical piece.
Hamas has agreed in principle to release all the remaining hostages alive or dead, though adding it would only free them if there are proper field conditions, saying they're ready to negotiate the details. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he hopes to announce the release of all remaining hostages from the Gaza Strip in the coming days. Thousands of demonstrators gathered in Tel Aviv with one message: it's now or never.
We cannot let another deal collapse.
Former hostage Keith Siegel has been advocating for the remaining hostages since his release 8 months ago. He described his 484 days of captivity.
I spent time in tunnels, suffocating 130 feet underground, gasping for our breath, left alone there with very, very little food. I witnessed violence and cruelty.
But while Hamas has agreed to some of Trump's 20-point proposal, there has been no mention of the group disarming, as the president demanded, and there are questions about just how that would happen and who would oversee it. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
In Washington, a growing number of lawmakers on Capitol Hill say they will forego their paychecks amid the government shutdown. Some lawmakers add they'll donate their salaries until the shutdown is over. Others have formally requested that their pay be withheld. Most rank and file members of Congress earn $174,000 a year. However, those in top leadership are paid more. The next time lawmakers can come together and vote on ending the shutdown is tomorrow, Monday. President Donald Trump has ordered 300 members of California's National Guard and 400 from the Texas National Guard over to Oregon. This comes a day after a federal judge temporarily blocked the president's plan to deploy members of Oregon's National Guard to Portland. State officials in Oregon say they will go back to court to challenge the president's latest move. The Trump administration says the National Guard is needed in Portland to help protect ICE agents as they carry out their work. If you missed out on last month's nearly $1.8 billion jackpot, you still have a chance to win with Mega Millions. No one matched all 6 winning numbers in Friday's drawing. As a result, the jackpot is now $547 million. That makes it the largest jackpot so far this year and the 12th largest jackpot in the game's history. Next drawing will be Tuesday. Shelby, you gonna take your chances?
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty lucky, especially with the weather. I mean, we're still sitting at 80 degrees here at 10:30 at night here on this Sunday. But tomorrow for some kiddos going to school, some might think it's lucky, others might not. Now, as you're dropping kids off for the school bus tomorrow or even for school, they're going to be waking up, still seeing the temperatures in the 60s, but it's still going to be feeling a little humid. It's still going to be feeling muggy. That humidity is going to be back. And then in the afternoon, similar to what we've been seeing, temperatures in the 90s, those mostly sunny skies, and it's still going to be feeling a few degrees warmer. Although it's going to be 92 in San Antonio, a little cooler in the hill country, sitting in the 80s. But although our temperatures aren't going to change much this week, the rain chances are. I'll talk about what's causing the rain chances later and earlier in the week, coming up after the break.
Still ahead, if you're a fan of pasta, we got some good news for dinner tomorrow. And a lost Woody has found his way home thanks to the efforts of an entire community. The trail he took to get back to one little girl. That's coming up next. You've got a friend in me. That's a song a little girl from Wisconsin will always get to sing. And that's thanks to a San Marcos community that helped bring her best friend Woody back home. Jackney Gray shows us the heartwarming journey and how it unfolded.
Make him talk. Hello. Oh! Girl has been obsessed with Woody since she was 4 months old. No lie.
Woody has been a part of every chapter and every memory in little Gia's life. At just 1 year old, she and her buddy have traveled all over the country, including recently when her family took a trip from Wisconsin to the Lone Star State, stopping in places like California, North and South Dakota, and Arizona. But when they got to Texas, Woody disappeared. Her mom, Shauna Tello, says that they were visiting attraction spots in San Marcos.
Later on that evening, she's trying to go to bed and she's saying, Woody, because she couldn't say the W at the time. She's yelling Woody at me. And I'm like, where's Woody?
The family ripped through everything trying to find little Woody during the last few days of the trip, even going as far as buying Woody's Pixar friend from the Tanger outlets to keep Gia happy.
Got Buzz Lightyear. She's still Woody, Woody, Woody.
The family made it back to Wisconsin, posting on social media, calling news stations, and after hundreds of interactions and shares online, Visit San Marcos came to the rescue.
I bet that was October leaving.
Oh my gosh.
After his solo adventure, Visit San Marcos sent him all the way back to the city of Duran with stickers, souvenirs, and many goodies that showed Gia not only was he safe, but he had a good time in the Central Texas community.
She yelled Woody instead of Woody. We got Woody out of it. That made my day. San Marcos made a little girl's dream come true, her heart not be broken, and my family will forever be in San Marcos' debt.
You love to see that and how tight she's holding on to Woody. Some trails and parks will reopen in Kerrville starting tomorrow. Kerrville Parks and Recreation will open those areas you see on your screen. This comes 3 months since the deadly July 4th floods. Other parks and trails are still being restored and are still off limits for use. We've listed more information on the status of those parks and their new rules on KSAT.com. We'll be right back. In case you needed a reason to load up on the carbs tomorrow, Monday is National Noodle Day. You can mark the day by trying to make your own noodles or make things easy on yourself and go out to eat and get some noodles. Or even easier, you can make Shelby's signature dish, packaged mac and cheese, or even Mary's ramen noodles. Some history for you. Noodles were invented in China around 4,000 years ago, and instant ramen noodles were invented in Japan in 1958, and Mary hasn't looked back since.
I'm trying to figure out how you knew that my go-to. It's not the regular mac and cheese. I love the spiral mac and cheese. There's just something about it. Or my favorite dish growing up as a kid was the tortellini.
As long as it's a 1-minute microwave dish, you're good to go.
No, I do cook. I also throw some chicken in there.
I'm the last person to be talking. I'm just giving her some lighthearted grief. I'm the last person to be talking about cooking.
I mean, if you do want to eat some noodles for National Noodle Day, it would be a good idea to maybe eat them outside. Maybe have a nice little covered patio, but I mean, it's still going to be beautiful outside tomorrow. Waking up for some folks, waking up with temperatures in the 60s, but in the afternoon, yes, there is still a 10% chance of rain for most of us. but not everyone's going to see it. So it's still going to have our temperature at 92 degrees, a slight easterly wind, but really it's going to be a beautiful day. But right now what we're seeing is all of that dry air that we've been seeing. That's that orange color. This is the water vapor satellite imagery, and basically it just really allows you to see how much dry air and how much moisture is really in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So as we look in San Antonio, all of that orange color, that's that dry air, but just to the north in areas of Omaha or even in areas near Florida, Georgia, and even in South Carolina, where you see those green colors, that's that moist saturated air. And here's the thing, it is coming to San Antonio. Now, what we're watching is that area of high pressure that's been sitting over areas of South Texas and really Texas in general for the last pretty much 2 weeks. We've seen much of the same weather pattern, copy-paste forecast, waking up in 60s and 70s, peak temperatures in the 80s and 90s. But as this high pressure starts to leave, we see another low pressure system that does try to get some sort of moisture into areas of San Antonio, but really that's not going to be the main focus. This high pressure is still going to push some of those showers and those sea breeze showers we normally see through San Antonio, but that high pressure is really going to dig into areas of West Texas near El Paso and is really going to allow some cooler temperatures a little bit into the 60s, but that dry air, it's really also going to push any sort of rain chances down into areas of South Texas and stay out of San Antonio, which isn't necessarily good news. This is the drought monitor that was released on Thursday. We're still seeing that exceptional drought, which is the worst kind for portions of southeastern and even southern portions of Medina County. We're still seeing that extreme in Bexar County and even going to the I-10 and I-35 corridor, seeing that severe to even moderate and dry category. In fact, 22% of the entire state of Texas is still considered to be in a drought. But although we're not expecting any rain, the tropics are starting to wake up. We're still seeing 2 active hurricanes in the Pacific. Yes, the Atlantic is finally starting to become a little more active, but any moisture we normally tend to get this time of year is all because of the Pacific. So we do have Hurricane Octave still producing some strong 85-mile-an-hour winds, and it is a little smaller compared to Hurricane Priscilla. That is closer to Baja California and even near Mexico, and it is a little bigger. It's really deepening into that moisture, but it's a little weaker, only producing 75-mile-an-hour winds. But even then, in the eastern portion of the tropics near the Atlantic, a 70% chance of development down towards Africa, but there is still a decent ways to go, so we'll continue to keep you posted. But as of now, it doesn't look like it is going to impact Texas, which I know a lot of people worry. We're still in hurricane season through the end of November, but other than the little bit of rain chances I mentioned earlier in the show, through Wednesday, it's really going to be a little bit of a quieter week, even with that decrease in humidity by the end of the week.
Decrease in humidity is what we'll be looking forward to, as well as those cooler mornings and cooler evenings.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Shelby. Now, the Spurs have had some rough seasons as of late, but there is hope in a 7-footer by the name of Victor Wembanyama, and he's expected to do some big things this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, the expectation is always high for Victor Wembanyama, but this year just feels a little different. Maybe that's because his teammates made that a big point of emphasis on Media Day, and Wembanyama was asked about that leap that his teammates expect him to make coming off of his health scare last season. And Becky Hammon, Nalissa Smith, and the Aces take a commanding series lead in the WNBA Finals after the break.
2 SEC games, your defense is now allowed 1 first down on 3rd or 4th down in 25 opportunities. How impressed are you with what they've been able to do?
We've been good so far. We got 6 more to go. No, I'm joking, of course. Yeah, obviously it's a big part of the game. It's a big part of what we do.
Texas A&M moves up to number 5 in the latest AP Top 25 poll for the first time since 2021 after a 31-9 win over Mississippi State yesterday. And you heard Mike Elko there knocking on wood, wanting his defense to stay dominant as it has in the last 2 games. Meanwhile, with a loss to Florida, the Texas Longhorns have fallen completely out of the poll. All right, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs hit the hardwood for the first time this season for the silver and black scrimmage yesterday. And all eyes are always on Wemby, but yesterday even more so to see how the 21-year-old Frenchman looks coming off of his deep vein thrombosis diagnosis that took him out for about half of last season. Wemby is now fully recovered and has even gone as far as to say he's feeling the strongest he's ever felt. Here's how Wemby said this year will be different for him.
The biggest difference, I think in general what describes my progression is like the ability to do more and to use like my skills, but I was like being slowed down by the maturity of the body, you know what I mean? And I'm still gonna be, of course, because we all of us young guys are going to get to our prime in a few years, but yeah, it's expanding, the range of what my body is able to do.
Lots of excitement for the Spurs. Well, after a nail-biter game 1 of the 2025 WNBA Finals that saw the Aces win by 3 points, the script flipped in game 2 with Las Vegas's 22-10 second quarter burst to take control of the game early. Then in the third quarter, the Aces outscored Phoenix 30-24. Jackie Young had a game-high 32 points, while MVP Asia Wilson flirted with a triple-double, dropping 28 points and 14 rebounds as the Aces won 91-78 to take a commanding 2-0 series lead in the finals. Game 3 is Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It's time now to hit the road with our Ancira Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week.
Thomas steps up. He'll throw it deep. Looking for a man. There's Kibble. He makes the catch. And the Lions will win it at the buzzer. Oh, my goodness, Jimmy.
Morgan State versus Georgetown. Last play of the game. Georgetown trailing 24-21 when Des Thomas II launches a Hail Mary pass to the end zone. And Jimmy Kibble leaps up to make the TD catch. An unbelievable throw and catch. Georgetown then comes back to win 27-24. So for that, Kibble, you get our Ancira Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week, and an honorary award goes to the play-by-play announcer for just losing it on the call in that moment, making it that much better.
What are you supposed to do when you see a play like that? You call buzzer beaters in the NBA. You don't get to call buzzer beaters in the NFL, or not in the NFL, and football that often.
No, it's a rarity for sure.
And he launched it from the center of the G, midfield, at least 55 yards. He was close to the middle of the end zone on that.
Man, you never know what you'll see on a college football Saturday.
And like you said, hats off to the play-by-play announcer just going berserk. Love to see it. Thanks for that, Mary. We'll be right back. And taking a look outside with TransGuide, looks like there's been an accident on the access road near Loop 410 in Callahan. Not sure if anyone is hurt, but it looks like the area is down just one lane. It looks like the majority of the traffic there is stopped because of a traffic light. But that far left lane, definitely at least one Hero truck with the flashing lights and maybe one, maybe two cars behind that. We hope everybody's okay in there. And mark your calendar for October 11th. That's when we hope you'll join us at the Rocket La Cantera for Light the Night. Hundreds of lanterns will illuminate the sky to celebrate, honor, and remember people impacted by blood cancer. Our Daniela Ibarra is emceeing the event. We have more information on KSATcommunity.com.
And throughout the next few mornings, we will continue to see our temperatures between the upper 60s and low 70s. Warmest morning is expected to be about 73 degrees on Tuesday, but that's also the chance and the greatest chance of some rain showers. But our average low this time of year should be sitting about 64 degrees. So not only is our average temperature supposed to be above average, so is our morning. But the good news, the aquifer is up today. We're up almost a foot in San Antonio. We're still 30 feet below our monthly average now. Although there is still rain chances tomorrow through Wednesday, it's not enough to really impact directly our drought, but still could change our aquifer at least a little bit depending on how much rain we actually see fall in the contributing zone and the recharge zone. But otherwise, really copy-paste weather starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, similar to what we've been seeing over the last 2 weeks. but enjoy it. That's when the humidity continues to start to decrease after increasing tomorrow.
Not quite light jacket weather just yet.
Yes.
But we're getting closer.
We're inching closer.
Also, you missed it. It's National Noodle Day tomorrow.
Oh.
I said that her signature dish is Easy Mac, and that yours is ramen noodles.
Okay.
I didn't want you to catch strays without you being present.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.